So the new HyperX Cloud Alpha 2 wireless gaming headset just recently released, kind of under the radar, but let me tell you what, this has the potential to be one of the best wireless gaming headsets. And why am I saying potential? Well, stick through this video and we're going to talk about it. But first, what you're going to get inside your box, of course, is going to be your headset. And then you get your little station over here, which you're going to really dive into. You get this USB cable. This is a longer one that's attached to it, but you also get a shorter one with an adapter because both cables are C to C, but they do give you a C to A adapter. Really cool touch to, number one, include a longer and shorter cable and then the adapter. Really nice touch there. You get a 3.5 cable, loose braided, because yes, this headset can be used 3.5, which we'll talk about. You get your detachable microphone, little travel bag, and then your paperwork, which we're going to be coming back to this later on. But of course, you all know we have to kick it off with comfort, and I'm going to mix in the build with this as well. And as you see, and you do have that swivel on this headset, a little bit forward, all the way flat right back there. As far as adjustability, it's tactile steps right on the side of the arm, and it holds its position really nice. And while I'm showing you that swivel, talking about the build, the forks are metal, kind of like we're used to with HyperX. Really nice to see that. The little outer cup over here is metal, and then inside is plastic. Now coming up into the headband, a little bit tricky here because this is metal up here, a little metal plating on the outside, but then the inner portion over here is plastic. Again, not sure if you guys can really tell that in the camera, but again, just kind of little metal support bracket there, plastic inside, and then metal up here, and then metal right there. And then also the little nozzle or little screw, whatever, holding on the fork right down there is actually metal. So really solid build. I'm going to show you a little bit more here in a second. As far as the ear pads, you can see you kind of got this like, I don't know, what do you call that? That's like that, I'm not sure. It's like that velour / fuzzy cloth, really comfortable ear pads. They're like a plush pillow. The inside is pleather lined and you have a little padding inside there. My ears never touched the drivers or got pinched either. Coming over here looking at the dimensions of the ear pads right there, the length, as far as the width, and then as far as the depth. Hopefully you can see that in the camera. Again, plenty of room on these ear pads. I haven't tried taking these off yet, but as we know, they are going to be replaceable. And you can see your driver is at a little bit of an angle right there. But again, if you want to replace your ear pads, super easy, just like we were used to on previous HyperX headsets. Now coming up to the headband, super plush. All the way around it right here. It is that pleather, so it is going to attract some of the heat and grease, as you can see on mine. Kind of gross, but again, it is super plush. So as far as the comfort and build of this headset, like, oh my goodness, it is solid. Like, I can take this, twist it up, and I'm not getting worried one bit whatsoever. And of course, again, none of us are going to be doing this, right? I do this because I'd rather mine snap right there than you spend your money and then again break these. I'd rather break my copy over here. And let me tell you what, this is incredibly solid. And as far as the comfort, even with me being in a hot, humid climate down here, putting these on, like, oh my gosh, they are so comfortable. Like, seriously, even for glasses, like, they're not sticking because they don't have those pleather pads. Very comfortable for glasses, no pressure points or anything. And again, with this fabric here, what do we call that? Is that like a micro suede or something like that? I'm not too sure. But anyways, super comfortable ear pads. And the cool thing with this fabric here, because again, they're almost like breathable and very soft to the touch and not clammy like a fully pleather pad. But the noise isolation is fantastic. Like, my PC is chugging. I got a ceiling fan and I got another fan over there. And when I put these on, it almost like, I mean, not completely, but it definitely blocks out a lot of that sound. So really nice combination with these ear pads. Now let's go and talk about the features and functions on this headset. And this is going to be a long-winded section because there's a lot packed into this headset. And this is where I'll refer back to the manual because I'm sure I'll botch some stuff up. But first off, looking at the headset, back here you have your power button, which when it's powered on, you can actually press it and it will let you know, a voice prompt in there, what your battery percentage is.
50% battery.
You have your microphone mute button, which it's not one of those spring action in and out. It's actually a tactile press and it'll let you know microphone on or microphone off, which you also get the LED notification on the microphone, which I'll give you that microphone test here in a second. Down here is your 3.5 port, which yes, you can run this headset via 3.5, but right when you put that 3.5 cable in here, it powers off the headset, whether that be Bluetooth or 2.4. So all of the features and functions go away. You can still use the microphone, but the volume wheel doesn't work or anything anything like that. Pretty much when you put the 3.5 in, powers off. So it's cool. You don't need battery juice to run at 3.5 if you're out on the road. Now you have your USB-C for charge port and then your microphone port. Coming over to the other ear cup, you have this little switch up here, which you can click it up just for 2.4 or click it down here for Bluetooth and 2.4, and yes, it is simultaneous. Now as far as your volume wheel, it controls your game. As far as your Bluetooth, it's going to be on your other device. So for me, my volume for Bluetooth is just on my phone, so I can turn my game all the way down and then turn my Bluetooth all the way up, or vice versa right there if I'm in simultaneous. But again, if you just want one or the other, bam, click it up there. Really cool touch. Over here is your multi-function button, which is pretty much play a track, pause, or skip a track with multiple presses. And then right down here, as I've been mentioning, this is your volume wheel. No tactile steps, and it continuously rolls, but it has some really nice tension in it, so I don't see yourself getting accidental swipes. Again, it feels very premium. Now let's talk about the base station, and this is where I'm gonna botch some stuff up, and then after this, I'm gonna show you the software and give you the microphone test. But there's a lot going on here. Number one, you have your volume wheel here, and take a look at the lights around it. So I'm toning the volume down. You see the lights going down. If I crank it up a little bit, you can see it actually goes there. So that's really cool. Just a notification to let you know where your volume is actually set. You got your microphone touch as far as mute. Well, hold on, I need the headset on. Let's go and power the headset on here. Headset's on, and now you can see the microphone is lit up at mute. If I tap it, it'll go on, and you get voice prompts in there.
Mic monitoring on. Mic monitoring off.
If you used their microphones before, the Quadcast, same thing. You don't really got to press it down. It's just a simple tap and then it mutes. I really love that. Absolutely love this right on here. Now you got tons of buttons down here. So you got like EQs, which you can switch from. 1, 2, oh, well, it's not going to do it because I don't got it loaded up, but you can cycle through 3 EQs, and there's actually, you see how lightly you got to press that there, but you can cycle through 3 different EQs. Over here you have your multi-function button, same as you had on the headset, so play your media, pause your media. You have complete mute over here. You have your microphone where you can adjust your volume of your microphone. Over here is your game to chat, so if you want more game or more chat, you can actually press that and cycle through there. And then this is your side tone over here. Now I'm going to pull out the manual and show you some more things. So you can hold these down a little bit longer and do different features on them or functions. But over here, I don't know if the camera will pick that up. You can see you got line out and then headset. So let me disconnect this for a second. And you can see on the back side, you got your USB-C and then you got line out and then line in. So again, that's where this switch is going to control from. And let me tell you what, this is a little bit finicky because if it's just a slight bit forward, so right now it's right there, but if it's just a slight notch forward like that, it disables it. Like I was going through the settings like, okay, the headset's on, like why isn't it registering? What's going on here, right? Like everything was lit up and lo and behold, it was just a slight smidge forward. So again, little bit finicky there. But now real quick, this is where I wanted to pull out the manual and show you some things so to kind of forget which each function. Now you got your standard functions like I showed you, but a couple of them you can hold down. Like for example, your side tone over here, you press it and then you can adjust your side tone. But if you hold it down for a few seconds, it'll turn side tone on or off. Same over here. So you got your microphone where you can press that and then adjust that right there. Now coming over here to game to chat, you press it as I showed you, you can adjust it right there. But if you hold it down for a few seconds, it'll set your game to chat right in the middle. So again, it goes throughout all of these, like different settings, like your multimedia button over here. It says right here, if you hold it down, you can skip the track. If you hold it for 3 seconds, you go to the previous track. So again, there's multiple functions. You got your core button, but then if you hold it down, you get some other functions packed into it. So this little box is really versatile and functional. I really love what they did to this. But now I want to load up the microphone and the software, let you listen to that and talk about some things that are going on in there that can be improved. So now let's go and do the mic test, and I'm going to show you the software. And what you're hearing right now is the microphone, just the raw format. No tweaking, no adjusting or anything, but I will show you what you can tweak and adjust in the software. And by the way, my room is no fancy studio. This is a standard game room. I got a fan running, ceiling fan running, my PC's chugging. So again, this is a raw, real environment. No, again, software tweaking and no crazy sound dampening in the room. I want to give you and deliver you that real raw microphone test. And that's exactly
exactly what you're hearing right now. And now when I'm going to pull you over to the software, you're going to be hearing this microphone as well. Okay, so now we're looking at the Ingenuity software, and you're noticing this says beta, as this headset does not work on the previous, that Windows version of Ingenuity. This is their new one, and it's in beta, and just remember this as I'm showing you this, okay? You're kind of catching my drift. But anyways, let's go and select a headset. You're seeing it right here. As far as our adjustments, you got microphone volume, which I can adjust right on the station. So you see right here, I'm going to crank it all the way up. This is full max. I'm going to crank it back down because I am a louder speaker. Let's get it right over here. Is that where we were? 5? Maybe we'll crank it up a little bit more, maybe like a 6. Let's go on a 6 right there. That's the microphone. You got your volume. And again, all this stuff going to be adjusted right on the station, which is super cool. You got mic monitoring. So I'm going to hold down the button on the station right now. Oh, now it's off. Now let me go and press it again, and then it's on. So you can see it just changed colors right there. So mic monitoring is on. Let me go and press it, and I'm going to crank mic monitoring up. You see I'm not messing with it in the software. I'm actually adjusting it on the station. When I crank it fully max, I can hear myself pretty darn good. Let me press that again. Over here, let's get to halfway. Still fairly the same as fully max. It's whenever I come down here, I feel like this is kind of like the comfortable zone right around there. What number are we at? We're at about a 6. Pretty nice mic monitor because I don't sound walkie-talkie or like I'm hollering in my ears. That's a real comfortable mic monitoring, honestly. Game to chat balance. Again, I showed you how you can adjust that right on the station there. You can adjust it or hold it down to center in the middle. I'm going to get back to audio equalizers, okay? This is a really long-winded section, like I said, but trust me, stick through this because there's some things like we got to talk about here, okay? Now, I did show you on the station itself. You can adjust it to 3 that are built in, and you press the button and circle the wheel over there, and it goes to 3 preset EQs on the station. Not these. Okay, you with me? So let's go right here. I'm going to add 1, 2, 3. And this is the testing I did, right? So I had one at full bass. And this is what I do when I test my headsets, just to see if it's saving or not. And then I'll create another one that drops all the bass and pulls out the highs. These are not EQs you want to use. So that's not what we're talking about here. This is the one that I would kind of adjust for my preferred type of sound, right? But my main point is showing you these. So I got an EQ with mainly bass, so it's going to sound real muddy. Over here, it's going to sound just screechy with the highs, right? So anyways, I got 3 preset EQs. Those are not going to save to the station, right? Just like this, it's kind of what we would want, right? Like, okay, cool. Maybe I can go in here and add more, and right? And then I can have more saved on the station. Well, no, it's not going to do that. The EQs I'll set on a station are just presets. I don't know what they are. If it's like a bass boost, a treble boost, and this is regular sound, because again, it doesn't tell you. But the stinker is that these do not save to the station. That's a real bummer. The other thing that stinks is these presets. So if I got 1, 2, and 3, they don't actually save to the software even, as weird as that sounds, right? So I already mentioned they don't save to the station. But even on the software, if I close my PC down, actually shut it down, start it up, these will be gone, right? If I restart my PC, they'll save, but if I shut it down, they will be gone. That's a true bummer because number one, now they're not saving to the station, so you can't take it to your PlayStation or something else and have them saved on there or to another PC. They're not going to be saved on the station. But more importantly, they're not even going to be saved on the software on your PC. That's a real bummer. But for me, doesn't really matter because I use Dolby Atmos. And let me load it up here to show you the sound settings I used. This is the EQ I used on this headset. We'll talk about sound here in a minute, but I just wanted to show you this so you can see my highs, my mids, and then my bass, just in case you're curious, and then volume leveler. I use Dolby Atmos on all of my headsets now. I'm getting choked up here. My throat's getting a little bit dry. Okay, moving on with the software. We covered that bit. Coming over here to spatial sound, I don't use spatial sound, but you do have a lot of adjustments in here as far as your center, your left, your right, your rear, your high, all sorts of stuff to adjust here. But again, I don't like fake surround sound morphed. If anything, I'll use like a THX, but I just about never use any of them. I like a core quality sound through the headset. That's where you got to start, right? Don't morph it with all sorts of goofy stuff. So again, I do not use spatial sound, but you got a lot of adjustments in there. This is another issue with the software as far as lights. So I'm going to turn them off, and you can see it turned off that ring right there. But if I turn it back on, like I can't adjust these buttons. I wish I could adjust the lights on the buttons and make them all white, but it's always going to be that rainbow there. Hopefully that's just a beta issue, and maybe we can adjust those later on down the road. But the other thing is, say if I edit this and I come over here, I'm going to edit, or let's just delete that. I'll add effect. We'll go solid, add effect, save it. So I saved a solid red. Number one, you're seeing it's still saying surgeon waves, which it is red on the station for me right now. So that's one issue. But the other issue is this also doesn't save to the station, right? So if I take it out, go to the PlayStation, it's not going to be solid red. But also, if I restart or shut down my PC, if I restart my PC, all this does save. But if I shut it down, this is gone and wiped, and it's all back to, again, surging waves and rainbow, right along with the EQs. So the lightings and the EQs don't save with the software. Hopefully that, again, is a beta issue. Now, coming over here to customizing your buttons, you can see you can dabble with these. You got your base station functions, select them right there. Keys and buttons, as if you want to set some of those. You got some macros, text, and then launcher. But again, there's nothing I can adjust within here. It's really weird. This whole software, everything about it feels very beta. They're telling you it's beta, but it makes me kind of think like, man, this product has so much potential and so much within it, but it's so beta. Half of it doesn't work and half of it's missing. And I'm sorry, that's just really disappointing in my eyes. You're talking a $300 headset, and there's so much potential in here. It just feels like it's not done, right? It's not finished. There's so much more I'd like to be implemented into this. And again, they're telling us it's beta, straight up, you know what I mean? But again, it's like, why release it if it's in such a beta when there's so much potential into it? I can see this headset, like I stated in the beginning, really being one of the best out there with everything you can do with this. But right now, it's just like, why is it even there if it's not even really functional? You shut down my PC and everything's gone. Like, yo, that's annoying. You know what I mean? But anyways, I'm getting on a rambling rant here. I wanted to show you the microphone and the software. Hopefully I covered that for you. Now let's go and talk about the sound.
I am so sorry about rambling on about features and functions in a microphone test, but that was a big issue, and I really wanted to relay that to you guys so you know what you're getting into here. But now talking about sound, I had to go get a drink, like my throat was starting to hurt, right? But now talking about sound of these 50mm dual chamber drivers, kind of like we're used to with the alphas. Like you got the clouds and then you got the alphas, right? And I think if you used them before, you're kind of familiar with that, right? Like the clouds, they have their really impactful, just immersive, exciting sound. I think that's why they've been always so popular, right? They've been a big pick. Now the alphas have had more of a, I don't know if I want to say like a professional, but more of a smoother type of sound, right? Something that sounded a little bit more sophisticated, right? If that's a good way to put it, kind of more like headphones, right? That's the way I put it, right? It doesn't really feel like or sound like that impactful in your face gaming type of sound, right? It's definitely a little softer on you. When you dabble with EQs, you can really pull each thing out. It's not bass heavy. It's not going to be thumping. It's not going to hit. Not even like the clouds. Not saying the clouds got a lot of bass, but you're not going to get that bass here. You'll get the warmth, you'll get the immersion, and you'll get the detail with the highs. Like if you're playing and you got like rain in the background, you really pick that up. It's really cool. So again, it's an easier listening experience on the ears. It's not that crazy, like just in-your-face gaming type sound, but it's also very adjustable and tweakable with an EQ if you're using Dolby Atmos or the software, even though it's going to wipe on you. You know what I mean? Use Dolby Atmos. Heck, use Dolby Atmos for all your headphones. Trust me, it sounds amazing. I use it for all my headsets, headphones, whatever. It's just phenomenal. But that core sound of this headset, you're getting that core sound of the alphas. So if you've been in the alpha party over the cloud party, you know what I mean? You're going to love it. That's exactly what you're getting here. There's no mistaking it, right? You're definitely getting that alpha sound. But I think with these ear pads and everything, you're definitely getting that isolation. So it stays in to your, again, listening experience a little bit more, blocks out that sound, the environment on you, and it really works out. It works out very good. Even as far as like music listening, it's phenomenal for music, right? It's not that screech. It's not like, gosh, let me get these off. You know what I mean? It's a very manageable, comfortable sound that you can use for a long time. And that's really good. Again, as far as that comfort and then the sound, like I never caught myself wanting to take these off. That's also using them 3.5 on the Xbox because they will work on every other platform with the station. Not like anything saves on it, but again, it will work with those. But going over to Xbox, you have to run 3.5. And again, that is without power. And I don't know if I mentioned it, the battery life on these is up to 250 hours. Battery life's been perfectly fine with me. You got any of that crazy, goofy RGB or anything like that? But again, just straight to the point, the sound of these, you're getting that alpha sound, right? You're not getting that cloud. If you want something more impactful, more punchy, more in your face, you go with the clouds. You want something a little more easy listening, that's not so crazy, maybe even more, I'd probably point you in the direction of these for FPS, right? If you want to get more of those footsteps and maybe some of that environment and not so much of that crazy sound, I think that's where the alphas are really going to shine for you. But simply put, you're getting the alpha sound, that tried and true known alpha sound from HyperX. You're getting that here. So again, I want to apologize for rambling on so much about this headset, but you all know that's the way I like doing my reviews, right? I can sit here and quote a reviewer's guide or back of the box website specs, you know, some AI video, you know, but I like really talking about a user's experience, right? And my user's experience with this headset was just missing a lot. And if you stuck through this video, you kind of got that vibe, right? Like the core product is solid. The build, the comfort, the features and functions, like it is phenomenal. There's no denying it. And at that $300 price tag, I think it's worth it. Like it for sure is with everything you have right here. But it feels beta, not just the software. The whole interface feels beta. And hopefully they update it. And if I knew they were going to update it and it's like, okay, next month it's going to be like this, I'd say, yo, go get these. No questions asked about it. But I don't know what's going to be coming and how soon it's going to be coming. So I don't know, maybe give it a few months, see if HyperX releases some stuff about them being updated. See I got the latest firmware on them right now, but you can see when their firmware is up there. And once this is fully refreshed and everything's working and saving on it, and maybe you got some more features to adjust on it, like it's a no-brainer. This headset's going to be awesome. And at $300, it has everything I want. Like it really does. If I can customize it more and it would save stuff, this headset would stay on my desk. But right now, again, it doesn't feel complete. And that is a bit of a disappointment.